Deutschen Pfest was just started with a bunch of great volunteers that were organizing this. They were taking the calls at home, setting up, planning for the booths, planning for the parade. There was a chairman for each.
My grandmother was actually a grand marshal, and they had picked her and another gentleman because they were the oldest living residents of Pflugerville at the time.
We had a great parade. One year, Herbert Bowles fixed up a covered wagon and dressed his kids and whole family like pioneer people and had mules pull the wagon through town.
Deutschen Pfest is my favorite weekend of the year, by far. I started going to Deutschen Pfest probably my first year in Pflugerville as a State Farm agent. I remember the chamber asking me if I would work their booth for a few hours. And our Rotary group has a big beer garden that we set up every year at Deutschen Pfest. And so I started attending Deutschen Pfest really more as a worker and a volunteer than as a participant in Deutschen Pfest.
It started out as a big bulky type thing, and it was narrowed down to a few chairmen who were in charge of the booths or in charge of this, and it's really improved.
I remember one year we had a beer stein float.
Oh, that was something.
One year I was even a parade marshal. I think it was the year I retired, and they asked me to be a parade marshal, and I borrowed a square dance dress from somebody that was German, looked like a German dress, and so I sat on that float with my German dress and thought I was just really something up there.
A lot of changes have come to Deutschen Pfest. When it first started, the fire department charged $1 per car to park around the festival. Everything else was free, and that was one of their big source of fundraisers. Back in those days, they parked on Leon and Gladys Pfluger's land, and they always let the fire department do those things.
Probably the now outdated cow patty contest, where you actually have a cow or a steer or whatever it is, and it's almost like a bingo kind of contest where you have numbers on a grid and you pick a number, and wherever the cow or whatever deposits its cow patty, that determines the winner of that contest. So a little different flavor than what we have today.
I get to see all of my neighbors. I get to see the citizens of the city of Pflugerville, and it is so much fun when people walk up and they recognize me, or one person is there who's from Pflugerville and maybe they brought a friend from somewhere in Austin or Round Rock, and they'll say, "Oh, by the way, the mayor's pouring beer for you." And they always brighten up because people don't expect that. It's one of those things that makes Pflugerville unique, is that our leaders will get out and do that kind of thing.
Discover your story at Deutschen Pfest, May 20th to 22nd. For more information, visit deutschenfest.com.